Hi, Dustin.
Hi, Candace. How are you?
Good. How about yourself?
Doing great.
Awesome. On the line right now, Dustin Kensrue from Thrice. So you are on a little break right now? Are you not out on the road currently?
Yeah, we just got back a couple weeks ago from the first half of the run. We kind of broke the states into two separate runs. We're trying to keep the runs around 3 weeks now so we're not destroying ourselves and our families, which is working out great. So, yeah, we just got back, and we'll be going to Europe coming up and then kind of hitting the rest of the states. But we'll be back around the Northeast, I think, in the early 2017 at some point.
Ooh, awesome. I mean, that's a smart way to do it. I can understand how people just get absolutely burned out on the road all day, every day for months and months at a time.
Yeah, I mean, once you get to 6, 7, 8 weeks, it gets mind-numbing, and, you forget what your kids look like. And
right.
So good.
So, when you're out on the road now in short spurts, do you get to experience any of the cities that you go to visit, like besides the venue?
It depends. Your day's kind of busy because depending on when your bus can get there, how long the drive was, and you've got interviews, you've got sound check, and so it can be hard to get out and see stuff. But we try to do what we can when we can. Sometimes days off, you'll get a good city and get to see some fun stuff.
Awesome. Anything particular you guys like to try to do when you're on the road?
Me and our tour manager this run were frequenting many Tiki bars after show. So he's like super into Tiki drinks and stuff, and I am becoming more and more so. So we would head out after show and check out the local Tiki bar. So it's fun.
So when you're in like the rural Midwest, do you find many Tiki bars out there?
No, not generally. There was one in Philly, which is cool. I wasn't really expecting that, but that's not Midwest. Apparently there's a couple out there. But yeah, we probably went to, 8 on this run.
Nice. Are you guys keeping like a running tally? You guys should be documenting it for prosperity.
Yeah. Matt's the guy's name who's our tour manager. He's got an app called Tiki, and it rates all of them, and so it's pretty funny.
That's awesome. All right, let's talk a little bit about the new album, To Be Everywhere is to Be Nowhere. That thing just blowing up, going like crazy. I mean, it's your highest debuting album to date. Am I correct in saying that?
I think you are correct, yeah.
Were you anticipating that kind of response after, taking a pretty extended break for a while?
It's so hard to tell. I feel like the record industry is just changing all the time, what formats are going on, what's happening. So we didn't have a whole lot of idea. I think I'm really proud of the record. I think a lot of the success of it has just been due to it being a pretty strong record, having a lot of word of mouth going on, which is great. So that's been cool. It's been exciting just to see a lot of new people hearing the band for the first time. I think the radio stuff's helped a lot with that, people hearing Black Honey. So it's been really exciting. It's been a lot of fun.
Right. I was noticing a lot of people just getting hip to you guys for the first time. You guys been around for like almost 2 decades. Is that kind of a weird thing to have happening now?
Yeah, but I mean, you can't, you can't blame anyone for it. Just, you didn't hear something, you didn't hear it. So
yep.
I'm just thankful people are hearing it now. So I think this record's a good record for kind of a gateway into the other records as well. There's a bit of compression of a lot of the things that we've done over time.
Right, there's definitely a nice mix on it, from heavy ones to a little more mellow melodics. It was awesome. I was listening to it recently, and we were rocking hard. I was actually talking to one of our interns, and I was turning him on to you guys as I was preparing for this interview, and he proceeded to tell me that your band name also has a very inappropriate meaning, apparently, for guys. And I read on Wikipedia that your guys' name was sort of an inside joke between you guys. Did you care to elaborate on that a little bit?
It was an inside joke. There was no inappropriateness to it, just stupidness. We just thought it sounded cool and funny, and so we would say it to each other. Like our friends we would say Thrice before we were even a band, and then we had to have a name for our first show, and we're like, Thrice? We just thought it sounded kind of metal, maybe. It was like, because it sounds old. Really, really stupid. We instantly regretted that, but never found the right time to change the name.
Well, and now you've got all kinds of definitions for it. So Black Honey is showing up in some pretty prominent places. I noticed that it was on the Money in the Bank WWE pay-per-view, and last weekend Mark Trombo's walked out to it at the Home Run Derby. Are these like friends of yours, or just people like fans of your music? Do you know how this kind of comes about?
Trumbo is actually a good friend of Riley, our drummer, and, so he's been around. But I think he was a fan before they were friends, too. They've been friends for a while now, so I think Riley actually gave him Black Honey, and he was using it as his walk-up music before anyone else even heard the song, which is funny.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, the WWE thing was totally random. Yeah, they just asked us, we're like, wow, okay, sure.
All right, sure. Play our tunes, right? So now that you guys got a new album out and you're, kind of turning on a new audience to your band, what do you hope that new listeners could take away from your music this time around with the new albums or even with the old albums?
Man, I don't know. I think it's exciting that new people are hearing it. I feel like there's a lot there throughout all our catalog, but I think what a lot of the longtime fans would appreciate about the band is there's a weightiness to it that maybe isn't in a lot of other music. Sound-wise, but also just lyrically kind of wrestling with some big issues, and that's there. I don't know. There's a lot of diversity. There's between, a lot of heavy stuff, but also a lot of, I think, really beautiful stuff as well. So.
Right. You guys have touched on, a lot of spiritual things in the past, and this album seems like it's more politically charged. Is that just a result of your surroundings or what's going on in the world right now, or was there something specific that kind of triggered that?
Yeah, I tried to just write. I never have, like, a big plan of, what the theme's going to be or whatever. But I think it's definitely just, what's been, happening in the past year or year and a half, just a bunch of crazy stuff. And it's coming out as I process that stuff in songwriting. I think I use songwriting as a way to dig into things and think through them more deeply, research them. So I'm writing a song like Death from Above on the record, and, I end up doing a lot of research into drone strikes and, when we order them, what we're targeting, what the fault is in that, and then kind of trying to write it in a way that's, not just an essay, but digging into, lives of people, stories. So, yeah, I like writing in that sense because I think it helps me engage with the world more than I normally do, too.
Right. People kind of interpret the songs the way that they want to when they hear them. So it's kind of interesting to see the writer's aspect on it. I was watching the video for Black Honey, and that one kind of goes with, like, you driving, and there's a kid in the seat, and then it kind of switches up the driver between these people. Like, who are you trying to portray in the driver's seat?
Yeah, that one's confusing because it was written by a friend, and I don't think it ties in a whole lot with it, but we kind of ended up going with it because of that. It was a lot looser of interpretation, where all the other ones were, like, overly kind of spooky with bees in them and stuff. And so we're like, we're going to go with Pat's thing. And it just sounds, it was kind of creepy and strange, but a lot more loosely tied to the concept of the song.
All right. You guys have been out on the road with some really fun peeps. Do you have any, like, standout memories of some times on the road that you just had an insane blast? It's going to always be a story that you're going to tell?
I feel like there's one that I always end up telling. There's this festival called Gampel in Switzerland, and we're actually going to it in, like, a month again, and it's just this gorgeous it's like a tiny valley in between the Alps on both sides of you, and we took, like, a gondola up to the top of this hill, and there's, like, a town of 20 houses, and this guy was like, oh yeah, we have a bed and breakfast, whatever, come out on our porch and have some beer. So we're just drinking beer, looking over this crazy valley, just stuff like that, where you're like, how did I end up here right now? Like, I just was trying to play a show. So
right.
I'm excited to go back to that town, and my wife is very jealous. I promise that I will take her there someday, but it's not perfect.
On the last leg of your tour, you guys played some East Coast dates, and you're going back in September in the U.S. Do you think that we may get an upstate New York show at some point in the future?
Yeah, I don't think on that next run, but we're trying to figure out what 2017 looks like, and we're definitely trying to plan another run through the States. So we should be up that way. Not exactly sure where, but somewhere drivable.
All right, we'll cross our fingers and hope you get super close, or, just come straight to town and visit us here at the studio.
That would be good, too.
All right. To Be Everywhere is To Be Nowhere, out right now. Everybody, please go get it. Dustin Kensrue on the line. Dustin, thank you so much for sitting and talking with us today. Is there anything you would like to add before we let you go and continue with your day?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Thanks so much for playing the song, and we really appreciate it.
All right, Dustin, thank you so much.
Cheers.